Dr. M. Lakshmi Narasimhacharyalu, Professor in ECE, St. Peter's Engineering College. I would like to discuss about the Agivoda antenna, which is a very important antenna for the household application. So here, before we are going to talk about the Agivoda antenna, what is the parasitic array? Let us we consider the parasitic array have the generally used to take a driven element, parasitic elements, and the boom. So this is the constructive part generally. So here the parasitic elements. What are the parasitic elements actually? The parasitic elements are the elements which are added to do not possess an electrical connections between them to the driven element or the feed, and these elements are positioned in such a way so that they lie in the induction field of the driven element, hence they are known as the parasitic elements generally, right? So here before that, what is the driven element? Driven element is the radiate individually and while in an array, and the radiation of all elements sum up to form the radiation beam. All the elements of the array need not be connected to the feed. The dipole or a driven element is connected to the feed, right? Either it is also that's why it is a driven element, it self excitation, which will be connecting to the feed point. So here now we are going to talk about the Agivoda antenna. So here, what is the introduction, principle, construction, working, picture of antenna, advantages, disadvantages, and applications of Agivoda antenna. Now we are going to talk about the Agivoda antenna. The Agivoda antenna is one of the most brilliant antenna design, and it is a simple to construct and has a high gain typically greater than the 10 decibels. So here the Agivoda antenna generally it is a VHF and UHF antenna. So you know that what are the frequency, the very high frequency and what is the ultra high frequencies. The range of very high frequency is in between the 30 to 300 megahertz, and the ultra high frequency range is 300 megahertz to the 3000 megahertz, or you say that 3 gigahertz. So this is the operation. So already you know that what is the frequency allocated to the television. Television frequency is always allocated in between only 30 megahertz to the 850 megahertz only. So in that particularly use the channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to so on like this, n number of channels is there. But the Indian standard television systems, the channel 1 starts from 40 to 47 megahertz. The 7 megahertz of the VSB channel is there, each channel. So 47 to 54, 54 to 61, 61 to 68. For our Indian standards, we use channel 4, which is the frequency in between the 61 to 68 megahertz only. So after that, from 68 megahertz to the 170 megahertz, the other applications is there, just like induction heating, welding, and police wireless. A lot of industrial and communication applications is there. And after 170 again, channel 5 will start. 171 to 178, 178 to 185, 6 channel, 185 to 192, 7 channel, like this, up to so on 850. And the n number of channels is allocated. So here up to the 300 megahertz, that is the what is the higher VHF range up to 300. Above that range, that is the lower ultra high frequency range up to the 500 like this, and above that range up to 850 in the higher UHF range of frequencies, which is operated for the Agivoda antenna, which is applicable for household TV applications, TV receiving antenna generally, right? So the Agi antenna typically operated in the HF and UHF bands, which is 3 megahertz to the 3 gigahertz like this, and it covers the distance of 40 to 60 kilometers. A directional antenna system consists of an array of a coupled parallel dipoles. This is commonly known as the Aggie-Uda or simply Aggie antenna. So, what is the actual, why we call it as a Aggie-Uda antenna? This antenna was invented by the two scientists, one is Aggie, another one is Uda. That's why this antenna is the Aggie-Uda antenna, and the antenna system consists of an array coupled parallel dipoles. So here this is commonly known as a Aggie-Uda antenna. It have only one driven element as the dipole and the other are the parasitic elements generally. So the Aggie-Uda antenna is a familiar as the commonest kind of the terrestrial TV antenna to be found on the rooftops of the houses. So already I told this. And this is the shape of the Aggie-Uda antenna is shown in figure. Just to observe that this is the household applications. So if we will take the left side, how many directors, dipole and reflector is there? So every antenna have only one dipole and one reflector. Number of directors should be varied, depends on the design of antenna. For example, you say the one reflector is a standard, one dipole is a standard, two directors is there in this antenna. This is the 4-element antenna. If we take a 5-element antenna, 3 directors, 1 dipole and 1 reflector like this. This is the shape of the antenna in general, which is household applications for the TV. And now the principle. What is the principle of the Aggie-Uda antenna? Aggie-Uda antenna is an electromagnetic device that collects the radio waves. Already you know that Aggie-Uda antenna is an electromagnetic device which collects the radio waves, right? So here Aggie-Uda antenna basically consists of 3 elements. One is a dipole, another one is a reflector, another one is a director. So this is a dipole or a driven element. What is this actually? So here the antenna radiates individually and while in an array, you say that. So here the radiation of all elements sum up to form the radiation beam. So all the elements of the array need not be connected to the feed. Only the dipole is connected to the feed. It is known as a driven element which have the self excitation. But the parasitic elements, what is done actually? So the parasitic elements is operated with the you say that the induction field. Just you say that the reflector acts as a concave mirror and the director acts as a convex mirror. So here what is the reflector? So it is one of the parasitic elements in the Aggie-Uda antenna, and which have the 5% longer than the driven element, and it is placed very near to the driven element, and then it acts as a concave mirror which reflects the energy in the direction of radiation pattern rather than its own direction, and hence is call it as reflector. That means reflector is, what is the reflector? Generally already you know that it is 5% more than the driven element. What is the size of the driven element? Driven element generally used to take a half a dipole antenna. Half a dipole antenna. Half a means a lambda by 2 antenna. So therefore here this is near about 0.55 or 0.54 or 0.56 lambda. That is the reflector length and all usually. And now we'll come into the director. What is the director? This is also a parasitic element which is the 5% shorter than the driven element, from which it receives energy, tends to increase in radiation in its own direction, and therefore behaves like a convergent or convex lens, and this element is called director. A number of directors are placed in to increase the directivity of the beam. So therefore this is the actual the elements which we are constructing the Aggie-Uda antenna, and the 3 elements is the driven element, director, reflector, and one more is that is called the boom. Boom means the whatever we are we need to place all these elements on one plane, that is called the boom. The element on which all these are placed is called a boom. It is a non-metallic structure which provides the insulation, and it cannot be shorted at any circumstance because of it is a non-metallic. So therefore, there is no short circuit between the other elements of the array. And next, this is a mainly contribute these elements are mainly contribute the radiation, better what is the directive beams in a particular direction. So it is a direct beam antenna. So here just to observe that an antenna tuned to a particular frequency will resonate to a radio signal of the same frequency. So therefore already you know that. So this is the construction. How many is there? Reflector, driven element and the multiple directors. Already I told that. So here there are the three types of elements. One is the reflector, another is the driven element, another one is the directors. Which one is long? This is the mostly reflector is the very longest element compared to the other elements. Next dipole. Dipole is lambda by 2 and reflector is 0.55 lambda or 0.56 lambda, and the directors are less than that 5% of the driven element. That means you say 0.45 lambda and the first director, that is second director 0.43 lambda, third director 0.41 lambda, like that. The director's length will be reduced like that. So this is about the elements used in the Yagi-Uda antenna. Already I told the general driven element. The driven element of a Yagi is the feed point where the feed line is attached from the transmitter to the Yagi to perform the transfer of power from transmitter to the antenna. So this is the main function of the driven element. Generally used to take the driven element is the dipole element, will be a resonant condition, and when its electrical length, that is lambda by 2 is applied to its feed point, lambda by 2 line. So here the feed point in the picture above is on the center of the driven element, already know that. So now the construction of director. The director is the shortest of the parasitic element, and this end of the Yagi-Uda is aimed at the receiving station. It is a resonance slightly higher than the frequency than the driven element, and its length will be about the 5% shorter than the driven element, and it is progressively increases the direction and progressively less than the driven element, right? Like that. If you will take a driven element is lambda by 2, the first director is 0.45 lambda, second director is 0.43 lambda, third director is 0.40 lambda, fourth director is 0.35 lambda, like that. So this is the construction of the directors. The director length can vary, that depend upon the director spacing. The spacing also required. Generally used to take director spacings, driven element to the director spacing is 0.125 lambda, and again similarly driven element to the reflector spacing is 0.20 lambda or 0.25 lambda, like that. So here this depends on the spacing, the number of directors used in the antenna, the desired pattern, and the pattern bandwidth, and the element diameters. This all geometry is very important here. So the amount of gain is directly proportional to the length of the antenna array and not by the number of directors used. Okay. So this is about the director. And now we will come into the reflector. The reflector is the element that is placed at the rear of the driven element. The rear of the driven element will dipole, whatever we are giving that, the dipole or driven element. Its resonant frequency is lower than its length is approximately 5% longer than the driven element. Its length will vary depending on the spacing and the element diameters. The spacing of the reflector will be in between 0.1 lambda to 0.25 lambda. That is the spacing between the reflector and the driven element. And its spacing will depend upon the gain, bandwidth, front to back ratio, and the side lobe patterns required of the final antenna design. So the spacing is very important, maybe varied spacing. Sometimes you may take a 0.20 lambda in between the reflector and the driven element, and the driven element and the director is 0.125 lambda, and the driven, what is the dipole driven element directors and the directors in between that, it have 0.25 lambda or 0.125 lambda, 0.115 lambda, like that also. It depends on all these parameters will include it. So the working, the reflector here drives its main power from the driver. It reduces the signal strength in its own direction and thus reflects the radiation towards the driven element and the directors. Just to observe that in figure, it is the reflector left side, right side is the director, middle is the dipole. If the wave is propagating here, it induction field is happened, so the signal passing towards the reflector, but it is reflects the signal and the total beam is passing towards the director side. The driven element is where the signal is intercepted by the receiving equipment and has the cable attached that takes the received signal to the receiver. The radiator in the driven element can be placed more closer to increase the radiation length towards the directors. So this is the, to determine the wavelength of a radio station with a frequency of 92.1 megahertz, simply divide the speed of light. Already know that. How will say that this is given the operating frequency is 92.1 megahertz. So how we are going to find the wavelength? Lambda. Lambda is equal to C by N. So therefore C means 3 into 10 power 8 by what is the 92.1 into 10 power 6. So we'll get somewhat the lambda value. Then the seconds cancel out in the formula without the with the wavelength ending at up to the 3.26 meters. In other words, the wave passing u by night right at now the A radio station transmitting at 92.1 megahertz or 3.26 meters. That means by this is a theory. Practically already know that how we are going to find the wavelength. Once you know the frequency, then we'll take the formula of the relation between the C, lambda and F, and you will find the lambda value. So by using of that relation, you may get the lambda value for this particular frequency. The lambda is 3.26 meters. Then we will get the lambda by 2. Lambda by 2 means 3.26 by 2, which is equivalent to the 1.63 meters. That is the driven element length. Like that, with respect to that, you have to calculate the values of reflector length, director length, like this. Just you will see in this figure the 5-element Aggie-Wood antenna. Already I told one reflector is must, one driven element or driver or dipole is must, and the other directors will be vary with respect to the design aspects. So therefore, if you want to design a 7-element Aggie-Wood antenna, 5 directors, 1 dipole, 1 reflector. It is a 5-element Aggie-Wood antenna, 3 directors, 1 driven element, 1 reflector. Like that. This is the geometry. So you observe that here, this is the spacing between the director 1 to the director 2, director 2 to the director 3, like this. This is SI, you say that SI plus 1, SI plus 2, like how many maybe increases, right, like that. This is a general structure of the 5-element Aggie-Wood antenna. So now used to take the radiation pattern formed by the directional antenna, just to observe that which is the infrared radiation is there, which is along the axis, the direction of the beam. So it indicates that the director gives the direction of the beam, so therefore increases the direction of the beam, and the total directivity is depends on the complete geometry of the antenna. That means length and all spacing, these two are very important. Radiation pattern formed by the directional antenna. The antenna exhibits the directional pattern consists of a main forward lobe and number of spurious side lobes. So in this figure, you observe that so back lobes is there, side lobes is there, and the main lobe is there. Main lobe is more power than the back lobes. The main one of these is the reverse lobe caused by the radiation in the direction of the reflector. So here the reverse radiation pattern will get by reflector itself only. It is a very little bit compared to the major lobe. The antenna can be optimized to either reduce this or produce the maximum level of the forward gain. So therefore FBR ratio should be increases when the maximum directive direction in the particular direction, maximum lobe in the particular direction. This is just like this forward direction, which is towards to the number of directors. Like so, even so, this is the 11 element of Agate antenna. So for this 11 element Agate antenna, here the directors are 9, one driven element, one reflector element. So this is the construction, general construction of the 11 element Agate antenna. So you will take, this is the this is an antenna. Here the n number of directors is there, here the reflector and dipole. The Agate antenna is a particularly useful form of a RF antenna design, and it is a widely used applications where an RF antenna design is required to provide a gain and directivity, and in this way the optimum transmission and the reception conditions can be obtained. So this is the signal reception, and this is the radar antenna. How the picture of antenna in a radar. The radar using a group of Agate antenna with the antenna gain is G equal to 69. This is the picture taken from other defense sector. So now used to take what are the advantages. What are the advantages? So before the closing, we are going to give the design aspects, that is generally used to take the 462 by frequency in reflector length is equivalent to the 462 by frequency in megahertz feet, and similarly for the and the driven element, we will coming to the driven element 455 by frequency in megahertz feet, and similarly the director is somewhat 5% less than that, then it is near to the 445 by frequency in megahertz feet. So you have to find all these in feet. 1 feet is equal to 0.3 meters. Then you have to change in meters also, no problem. So here you have to take the length of driven element, length of reflector, length of director. Will find by using of given operating frequency. So similarly the spacing between the elements. So 0.25 lambda from reflector to the driven element, and the driven element to the directors 0.125 lambda, and the director to the director 0.25 like this. So you have to give you have to calculate all these the element lengths and spacings, and you have to design an antenna system. Depends on our application. Like you say the 3 element antenna, 5 element antenna, 7 element antenna, 9 element antenna, 11 element antenna, whatever antenna you are going to design, it depends on the specifications generally. For example, used to take the designing of the antenna system, which is for the our 5 element antenna, for example. So here 5 element antenna, the length of the driven element near to the 0.5 lambda, or you say that the 0.458 lambda, whatever it may be, and the length of the reflector is 0.55 lambda to 0.58 lambda, and the length of director is 0.45 lambda. Length of that is the director 1. If the length of this director 2 is the 0.40 lambda, length of the director 3 is the 0.35 lambda, spacing between the directors is the 0.2 lambda, and the spacing between the reflector and dipole is the 0.35 lambda, and the spacing between the dipole and the director is the 0.125 lambda. This is the specifications for the 5 element Agate antenna design. And what are the advantages? It has a moderate gain about the 7 dB. So the high gain is achieved by using of this, and it's a directional antenna because the high directivity is achieved, and can be used at high frequencies. So here this is the broader coverage of the frequencies by using of this antenna, and adjustable from front to the back ratios. It should be adjustable by using of our geometry of the antenna system. and it can be easily handled in the maintenance, and less amount of power is wasted. These are the advantages of the Aggie-Wood antenna. And what is the drawback? Drawback of this Aggie-Wood antenna, the gain is not very high. This is the major drawback. It is only up to some limitation is there. There is only up to 20 dB like that, not more than that. So needs a larger number of elements to be used. Here the structure of the antenna should be varying with respect to the application, like design of the antenna, 3 element, 5 element, 7 and like that, then the size will be large. And the prone to noise, this is also one of the disadvantages. And the prone to the atmospheric effects, this is also the drawback of the Aggie-Wood antenna. So now what are the applications? Generally, Aggie-Wood antenna is a unidirectional antenna. Already know that it is used for the TV reception. They provide the better tuning because the larger bandwidth and has a decent gain. So the mostly used for the TV reception only, and it used where a single frequency application